We live.
Why are you telling them it's all bad? What's that about?
Who's saying it's bad?
I heard my friend. He was like, "It's not good. It's not good."
Well, no. Look, listen. When tech's down 2.5%, people freak out. It's not good. But I was on for 3.5 hours yesterday, putting blankets on everybody, trying to patch up the wounds. Because you know what? This is a buying opportunity because nothing changed from yesterday with cash flow.
Also, I was wondering why in the REIT list you didn't mention so what's your favorite REIT right now?
So right now, today,
mention mine, and I was like,
you're probably going to want me to mention Equinix or Digital Realty.
Okay,
I am a Realty Income, Starwood Property Group, AGNC, Simon Property. Those are mine.
Okay, so I like those, but they're not really. I mean, they are REITs.
They're REITs.
100%
they are.
I'm not as in the real money portfolio. I'm actually very close to your style, if you believe it or not. But my favorite, maybe it's a little extended right now, or two. Welltower. Do you know this one?
I do know Welltower. Good company.
And Ventas.
Ventas, I have not done a lot of research on.
Well, they're the same thing. But yeah, if there's something that's not going away, it's old people.
So
these are the assisted living.
Yeah, the one that I've owned for like 8 years is Omega Healthcare.
Oh,
OHI.
I don't actually know this one.
Oh my God, dude. It's the grand poobah of the industry you're talking about.
Oh, that one doesn't look bad either.
It is the grand poobah. Now, this one is skilled nursing facilities and long-term care facilities.
Yeah.
It is incredible.
Yes, that's a great looking one.
Incredible. You'll like it.
I already like it.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It looks beautiful. It's a thing of beauty, actually. Look at that.
Love it.
So what are we doing? We got CPI tomorrow.
We got CPI tomorrow. So we got 7 minutes and they got to ring the bell and then we'll move into Technical Tuesday.
Yeah.
Let's get your take on why the markets are acting the way they are over the past couple of days.
It's a trap. It's a trap. That's my take. It's all a trap. I mean, nothing's changed, as Steve already mentioned. But, I think that tomorrow's a big day. It's a CPI. And the market, if the market's taking a read through from NFP, they're gonna assume the CPI probably gonna come in hot, which I don't really know, right? You can't really know that. So this kind of makes sense to me. The NFP, maybe it's a rate scare. I think that's has a lot to do with the SpaceX IPOs and maybe Anthropic IPOs coming too, and OpenAI. Who knows? But all of the above, it's like this perfect storm. While we're at the tippy top of the market, it just it sets up for some pretty basic profit taking. I don't know, nothing changes to me. In general, I think with oil potentially coming down, it sets up for a bounce more broadly than just as concentrated as it has been. So again, why not take some profit and spread the love around a little bit? And I think that makes a lot of sense from a long-term perspective as well. Does anything change on my sentiment? No. No, it's a raging bull market long-term. Short-term, we'll have to see. And if tomorrow's bad, then it is what it is. From a price action perspective, I would probably wait till the end of the month. But for right now, I don't have a sell signal. Actually, I have a hold, if you will. And so look, we didn't continue extending. We're pretty hot anyways. I think that makes perfect sense. If we go sideways for a while, I'd be very happy. But yeah, I think a little retracement here. It's I could meme out, what's that meme where it's what's happening? And you're down 2% from the highs, or it's 5% from the highs after a 30% rip or whatever. It's dude, we'll have to see for sure. But
I'm in the same camp.
Yeah,
I think nothing's changed. I have been saying it all week and last week. This is people selling winners and losers to raise capital for SpaceX. and it gets over exaggerated because Aggle's again control of it on the downturn. People are getting stop losses triggered. You're having people getting margin called. And what does that mean? Everybody has to sell into weakness. They're forced to sell into weakness, and it just over exaggerates the downside. And nothing has changed in these businesses. 72% of these companies, I believe, have beat earnings from the S&P in Q1. Nobody has pulled guidance. So,
nobody's going to pull guidance.
And nobody's going to pull
guidance.
Not
happening.
We know CPI is going to be bad tomorrow. It's about
we don't know the price of
oil. CPI is going to be horrible tomorrow. But the expectation for the following month is what we don't know. Is oil was over 95 the whole month last month.
Yeah, so that comes to PPI on Thursday.
Right. Now, I do believe that depending on what Trump does overseas, he says he's going to respond. I want this war done, but I may not get what I want soon enough.
Yeah. I think it's TBD. If we didn't have CPI tomorrow, I would be buying calls as we speak right now to take overnight. Not a joke. Yeah, I don't because this sets up as like, okay, first of all, we're not actually closing fully below Fridays. Like it's on the lows. So I don't have a reason that we're going to extend. We are on support for sure. It's near-term support. So that's why I'm not like super aggressive here, but for all intents and purposes, from a price action perspective, this should actually bounce tomorrow, technically speaking. But because of CPI, it would be more of a gamble for me to actually take a trade here. Although I did yesterday, just like that. But we'll have to see. This OHI looks really good though, man. It's on my screen still, and I'm like, holy moly! What happened to real estate today too? The builders.
What I want you to do while I close it out and ring the bell, go to their website, open up the shareholder presentation. They have 90. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's 100% triple net leases. I think 98% are fixed to CPI escalators on annualized basis. The metrics on the underlying business are incredible.
There's zero question for me. So all of these, like especially the state funded ones, are like,
yes.
You know what I always wanted to find, but I could never really find a good one, is the sober living environments from like the transitional housing units and things like that. I know those businesses actually, like personally, but I don't know that there's a good public entity, because those things they rent, they will rent, not even buy, but they'll rent like here locally, 6-bedroom house, something like that, something ungodly, and they will rent a bed in a house for like $2,000, and they'll be throwing like 3-4 beds in a single room. It's crazy. So
yeah, I don't know any off the top of my head, but I would close your ears.
Okay.
Because everybody is asking me to ring the bell like a Met, and it's going to get loud.
You got a bell?
Well, Mike got me a very special bell.
I'm all looking around. I don't have a bell.
Mike got me a very special bell. He got me a cowbell.
Nice.
The way that a Met has a bell. And we got like 10 seconds till it gets really loud. The S&P 73.84. The NASDAQ 25,674. And we are closed.
We're closed. We need an air horn, dude. Like a legitimate air horn. Hey. An air horn.
An air horn. All right, let's see where everything finished out, and then we're going to go to school with Jason. All right, Reddit. Jekyll and Hyde today. 178.29 it finished at. We were over 180. We were under 170. We finished out 178.29. Realty Income 61.24. Nebius 220. Verizon still has a 6% plus yield, 45.77. Enbridge 55.55. Big old scary Mo 71.56. SanDisk 16.46. Alphabet 363, Meta disrespected 584. SoFi did not hold 1650. Nvidia 208.19 came back a little bit. Actually came back a lot. It was down to 201 today. Yep. Amazon 244. Let's see who the big losers are. Iren 54, Marvell 266, ServiceNow 107, ARM 324, Qualcomm 205, Rocket Lab under 110, 108.23. Woof. Right. Jason, where do you want to start today?
I'm getting set up.
All right, getting set up. So I think that there are many opportunities in this market. I stand by what I've been saying for the past week. We are seeing selling to raise capital for SpaceX. The amount of phone calls that I have gotten from people about SpaceX is insane. What people are telling me they're doing is insane.
I'm with you. I'm getting the same exact phone calls too. It's not.
I have people that don't even follow the stock market really saying to me that everybody they know is telling them just to buy it, and people that are in the business and they tell me the number of shares they're requesting. I'm like, you're what?
They can request whatever they want, right?
Well,
like,
yes.
And I think that's actually so Friday is setting up to be one of the most interesting days. Yeah, even more interesting than CPI. So with that said, I think before I show any chart, and maybe you can tell them where you are, but where I am is like, I am not trying to make any long-term decisions right now. Not this week. Like, I really want to see this whole thing play out because we don't really know. And people will so to get an IPO, like an IPO allocation, they'll pledge essentially however much money they want. They know that they're not going to get it. They'll put, well, some know, some don't apparently. But on Friday, they're going to have an opportunity to either buy at the market or not. And if they don't buy SpaceX with whatever cash they've raised, and my gut is telling me that this is a lot of retail, because I think retail actually drove a lot of this smaller AI, picks and shovels of the picks and shovels trade, exiting to generate their cash. And maybe they do buy it right at the money in the open market. Who knows? But if they don't, and they're like, oh, it's just going straight down, that money is getting deployed. And so if we're seeing cash be built right now, I think after Friday, it's a better tell overall. But that is, where does the money start flowing after Friday? That to me is like more important from a broader perspective. But regardless, nothing's changing here to me. But I am sharing my screen now if you're ready.
Yep.
Do we want to do a clock? I probably need a clock. So this is for my own.
I can get a stop watch going. Not a problem.
It's on the screen. You just have to let me present. Bring it up. Bring it up, big dog. We'll start at the S&P 500.
All right. Let's get to it.
Boys and girls, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna do a handful. Well, roll the intro, Steve. Roll the intro.
What intro?
Roll the intro.
What intro? I didn't get an intro to roll.
Roll the intro. Anyways, so I could roll an intro. We don't need it though.
We don't need it.
We don't need. I had it. Where's my intro? Did I haven't never sent you one? Whatever, guys. We got it. We got it. So this is where we are. Prior all-time high S&P. I'm gonna start a timer so we can get through some. I don't know how Steve is going to keep track of your requests as we get to them. We could probably ping pong.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up an Excel sheet. Do not send your requests yet. I'm getting set up. So I have an Excel sheet, and we will. I'll put them on the Excel sheet as we go.
Is it gonna be shared? If you want to drop it in chat, then in our DMs.
Yeah, I'll copy it to the DMs.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So I am ready to start taking requests.
We're ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
So here's how this goes. To me, as a technician, what I will tell you is that the first Friday of every month, we usually get this thing called non-farm payrolls. And it is a fundamental event that creates a technical level moving forward. It's probably the one thing. It's very unique to me. You'll never hear anybody talk about it, but I can tell you it's back tested, forward tested, sideways tested, 90-something% probability that we already saw the high or the low for the month within about a 2% probability, 2% margin of error. So that's where I am as of right now. What that means for us is that it's 754 and change. I'm just going to change the size so you can see it slightly better. So 754.46 is Friday's high. And this is taking from the moment that the market received the data to the end of the New York session, which the end of the New York session is 735.53. This is a large range. It's about 20 points. One of the bigger ones that we've had in a long time. But as you can see, I do not have what we have today is what we call like a trappy day. There's a difference. If anybody is familiar with like price action here, people will say choppy, and then sometimes you might hear a word called trappy. And today I would say today is trappy, meaning that like today, you may or may not be able to see it on the screen, but there's like a large wick. And if you were watching the stock market intraday, there's a very large wick that goes way below. But where do we close? We close above Friday's low, which is right here. So this is Friday's high, 754, and this is Friday's low, 753. Moving forward, it is as simple as this. If we are trending next week, I'd say above 754, we are going up. There's no question about it. Nobody should be short. Period. End of story. To me, this is like extremely high probabilities. If next week we're below 735, that is actually a very different story. And you should probably be waiting towards the end of the month or so. But I will tell you exactly where we should land and where your dips are buyable. Unfortunately, it's not a pretty look if we do go sideways or go down. And so what I would say is like there is a very large spread between where support is, which is at 670, and where the next level of support is to where the current level of support is. So currently we have a lot of support right around that 735 area. If that is to get lost, we got to have one in between here. If that's to get lost, we could go as low as 75, but there it is, 700, just underneath 700 on S&P 500. That prices us back to about January, February of the year, which from a technical perspective actually makes a lot of sense anyways. If I take these little indicators off, those are ours proprietary ones. That is the prior all-time high of January. That's where we started the year. So a pullback, quite frankly, that looks a little choppy like this into that, and then start to have some kind of basing price action to close Q4 out in the green like that. That's very typical. And we see that all the time. That would be like something just like this. This is 2022. This is the last kind of like midterm election year, but even the end of into 2023 into 2024, if this right here, so I'm going to take this off. So this is beginning of 2023. We had a big bounce up just like this. But if I were to take this line and say, come straight across, we did have a pullback right around the same time. And that pullback, I don't know what percent this is, but this is from like 450 down to, that's like a 10, 15%. And it really just comes right back to that area where it broke out 2 times before. So this was that top breakout here. You get this little short squeeze to the upside, and we have a retracement that usually comes back to a prior high. And in that case, historically speaking, that was right about here. We're going to see the same setup moving forward. And why this matters is that if we get a similar setup here moving forward, this could set up for a dip buy that's still kind of in that, what I would call eating season, late Q3, which means that during the summer, I don't really want to pay attention to it. So I don't know that that's happening just yet. The setup is leaning that way. It'll be very choppy if it does happen, but those are the areas below 700 on S&P 500. If we see us down there, that's when you want to start getting greedy. Anything below 700 for the rest of the year is, to me, like a very viable dip long term. Short term, It's still somewhere around that. Short term, that means that we're either going to flip back over tomorrow and we're going to start to get above that 7. It's going to end up being 7. There's 2 levels in between. 738. If we do get over 738, then upside resistance is at 754. At that point here, this is caution, right? So be cautious around 754. Not so optimistic. It might feel great, but it's not going to be until we're actually trending fully above or below, meaning we're fully, we have a full day's trading session above 755 or a full day's trading session below 735, that we have a real trend on our hands. And until then, that means that in between, we could technically have a lot of chop that just chops up and chops down and goes sideways for the next week or two. This, by the way, this scenario is healthy. And right now, that is the scenario that I have in my mind, exactly that, at least for this week. But until we get those full trading days outside of these ranges, we're kind of stuck in that exact box. So it's more of a hold than a sell. It's more of a wait, and let's see what happens next. Sometimes there's not always an active trade in trading or an active large position, but that's kind of where the price levels are. So again, if you want to write something down, it's below 735 on SPY. Then we're in a downtrend, and we have reverted, and we're going to have some mean reversion back down to where we just broke out of, retrace a lot of that early year kind of run. If we're over 755, we're heading to over 800, probably closer to 1,000 by this time next year. And so that is the trend as it sits right now. In the meantime, let it breathe, and I think that's what the chart's saying too. All right, Steve, on to the first one.
I put all of them in the chat, but I can call them out. Amazon.
Oh, a private chat? Oh, there you go. Got it.
Yeah, I mean, you can leave it there, or I can just call them out. Amazon.
Yeah, do call them out. So Amazon here, we are actually right at that earnings candle low. So Amazon's one where we were looking at this. It had a shot, and there's kind of a trick, right? So like when you have a big earnings, so this little E at the bottom of my screen, you might not be able to see it. That means earnings. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. This little E right here on TradingView, that guy, that means earnings. And so what we can safely say is that the moment that the market actually received their earnings data from Amazon, it created this really big range. Like that entire thing, that's Amazon's earning candle. And so I'll just make it a green box like this. Typically, you get one shot to actually break the highs here, and it got through this range right here is what we call like a retracement. So typically a retracement is measured between 50% of a move to 65% of a move, and that literally lands like support down at 256. Once that held, the second that held, we're like, okay, it can get another shot to break the highs, but the problem is that here, this is technically a lower high. So that's the setup that Amazon is coming out of right now. And so once this is lower, this high is lower than that high, we're talking about a trend count. So trend count meaning the series of highs and the series of lows. What we're looking for from a broad trend perspective is a series of higher highs and higher lows. If it's going to be a downtrend, it'll be a series of lower lows and lower highs. This happens to be the first lower high, but I don't, and it's an equal low here, so it's not a big deal. This one, once we have this, definitely right now, and this is what I mean. Some markets, this low is definitely lower than that low. So if this was the last low, whatever, sorry, we have a lower high, lower low. I think this can bounce, and this is what I'm saying, like where we are right now, we can bounce, and we probably should bounce. But if that bounce results, really, if that bounce results in a second lower high, that is not good. And so resistance now is about 257, where that prior support was 260. If it can't get back over that, this was support before, that means that that has turned into resistance and you're fighting a reversal at that point. And so this is not about buying dips here. This is about monitoring what's going to happen to the trend next. Best case scenario, if you have a lower high and a slightly equal low, this is a stalling moment. The good news is that this prior all-time high, where it sits right now, 239, from a large term perspective, and I'm going to zoom out on the chart here, lots of lines. This was major resistance before in the past. All of this is major resistance from 237 to 240. I don't know if you remember, like if you've owned Amazon for a long time, you might have scar tissue around this price point from the February 2025. That was a massive rejection. All of 2025, it really tried to get over this level and it couldn't. So right now, yeah, this might have failed, but you're at the prior resistance level. What you want to see here is, if you're very bullish, then you really want to see this area right here turn into support, right? So if this was resistance, you want to see this area turn into support, which, yes, that sets up this bounce to 260, but you're going to need to see it go higher. So as long as this can continue on, or at least best case scenario, you just don't want to see it below that 235, because if that does happen, breach would look like this. And that takes you all the way back into that support area, which is going to retest that prior broken downtrend, at which point I would definitely get long. But for right here, right now, this is kind of like a watch. I'm at prior resistance. Does it turn into future support? We got basically 1 day so far that it is. It's not enough to take action here yet. So if it does, cool. But again, a bounce can take you to 260 and it be kind of a, what we call like a dead cat bounce. So a little bit caution there. More
right. Do you want me to cut you off at the 5-minute mark or not?
I mean, I'm doing the majors right now. So okay. once we do SMH, so this looks like the bigger ones. You got dude. Are those all okay?
What? Pick what you want out of it.
You guys, Steve has got a list of like no less than 50 tickers here.
Yes, I did what the people right asked. Now? It is all for the people.
All right. There's no shot I'm gonna. What the hell?
You better go get an Arnold Palmer, get nice and comfy.
I just opened a clearly Canadian. I got a box of these.
What are those?
What are these? These are sparkling. This is shout out Tanner or any Canadians. You don't know about these, dude?
No, I drink Pellegrino.
Dude, they're a little sugary, extra sugary, I'd say. I went to the store the other day, guys. We're gonna pause since we got some time.
Oh boy.
And I was looking for this drinkable yogurt for Steve.
Don't even. I got the stuff in the fridge.
See, I actually I put one in, but I was just like, this is so not a Steve flavor one here.
What flavor?
Wait, it's just a Chobani drinkable yogurt.
Yeah, I didn't get flavor.
Well, this is strawberries and cream.
I can mess with that.
Really? I thought that was not going to fly with you.
I mean, strawberries and cream. I can mess with that.
Okay, so the wildest drink. I went out and I got this drink at the store. I thought it was going to be an orange soda.
Okay.
I've never seen anything like this. It's called Ocean Bomb. Have you seen anything like that?
No. Is there alcohol in it?
No.
Really?
Really?
Huh.
No alcohol.
I would try that in a heartbeat.
It's a very funny flavored drink.
Is that a One Piece character on it?
It's something like that. There was 2 of them.
That's pretty cool.
The zoom, it's killing me. Ocean Bomb. I think that's a One Piece character.
One Piece or Yu-Gi-Oh or something?
Yeah. No, who is that? That's the sword guy. That's definitely One Piece. It says Zoro. That's One Piece.
Do you collect
on.
any of the cards?
That straight up says Zoro, right?
Yes, it does.
That's the character's name. Oh, it is. It's Nami. That's Nami, bro.
Jason, do you collect the cards?
Should I?
Dude, are you serious? Yes.
I didn't realize that's actually Nami. All right, which one should we try here? I'll put the clearly.
Try the Nami. I want to know what the orange burst is going to be.
Okay, so this says it's sparkling water. Oh, that's what it's mango flavored. Look at that. You can't see. The chat must be like, what the hell's this is not what I came here for. Guys.
Listen, guys, we're having a moment. We'll get back to it in about 40 seconds. All right.
Now that I know that it's mango, okay, it legit tastes like mango because I was thinking it would be orange. You know how orange has like mango has a very weird, it's orangey, but it's got the aftertaste on a mango. This has that.
Love it.
Now it makes perfect sense.
Oh anyway, after we're done with the stream, after we're done with the stocks, I'll run you through the One Piece investments. Yes, you should be allocating capital to alternative investments.
Should I have not opened this can?
I mean,
did I just ruin an investment, bro?
No.
What are you talking about? I've never seen this before. What if this was a special edition?
You can go to the store and go get more. You're all right.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I think I just blew it, dude. What if this is $1,000 mango drink right now? Like, what is happening, dude? Oh my God. It's not bad. No, I've totally messed up this focus though. It's better.
All right, SMH.
Wow. I'm not sure how I feel about this now. That is Nami. Damn, dude. Let me put this back. All right, so SMH on the screen. Look at, we're multitasking. On the screen, actually, it's not horrible. It's just like SPY or QQQ. So not that it makes a big difference in terms of the NFP stuff. It matters. But this is the prior high here, about 580. Let's call this like all-time high, something like that, prior all-time high. Look, from a technical perspective, this might feel a little shaky. And yeah, there's a bit of this setup people don't like to see. We call this like a head and shoulders kind of setup. But if anybody's actually followed me or while I work on a mid stream, they'll know that like I know patterns as a trader. You have to, I believe it's important to actually know the patterns that other traders see, but there's a difference between knowing them and taking action on them. This guy's setup is like, if it does break down, then yeah, this is probably going to be closer to 500 at the index level. But it hasn't broken down yet. So this is the difference when it comes to trading, the difference of like reacting versus anticipating. If you were to short SMH here now, you're anticipating a move that actually has not started to happen yet, because this could easily go sideways for a bit and resolve itself higher, because the most bullish setups are failed, what we call bearish patterns. And the failure rate here, the failure line, if you will, is about just under 570. So if this is essentially trading or trending below, when I say trending, I mean like if we have a full day's open and close, call it below today's low, which is right now 555. If we have a full day's open and close below 555, okay, yeah, you could actually have a pretty hefty pullback on the index as a whole. But that hasn't happened yet, right? So because of that, I don't want to anticipate. I would rather be prepared to react when the time comes. Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's not. We'll have to see. But I'd say you can safely go with a weekly count, meaning like if next week we just are below 555 like all week, okay, we're definitely in danger, and we're in danger of dropping another probably 10% on the SMH as an index. But we're not there yet. It is a time to be a little bit more cautious than optimistic, rather, like, as I'm saying, like, not to be pressing a bunch of brand new money longs in size. You can buy dips, but I think this is more of a do it sparingly and on the biggest red moments that you can find, and just kind of like keep it as that. So otherwise, this area here, that's a consolidation. And so if this is like the consolidation box, we just had a break above, pull back into, and starting to hold support. If we get a resolution from a price action perspective in that direction, that's super typical. And like, that's exactly what happens all the time. And you'd see something like this too, where like you have a bit of a, what we call like look above here in the past. You don't want to see this. All this means though, is that you're coming back to essentially the lower box of consolidation. And that's exactly what happened. And ultimately they end up resolving higher anyways. So these sessions, for the most part, it's more about like, okay, how do I size my positions? Because at the end of the day, everything goes up and to the right for the most part, if you have a long enough time horizon. But if there's a difference between knowing when to get aggressive and when not to get aggressive. And so I think my general point here is to not get aggressive yet, and definitely wait before we have more clarity. Second one here is Coin. And he's got a couple that are, I don't think you can really do Coinbase without doing Bitcoin, but well, I take that back. Bitcoin is not a good look. Coinbase is also not a good look by any stretch of the imagination. This needed to be over 190. So like if Coinbase is over 190, I could see an easy bounce into 240 from a trading perspective, but that is it. This whole area around 240 right now, that is actually your resistance. So it's still in a downtrend, by the way, if it gets to 240. Dude, I didn't realize how ugly this chart looks. So you've established support there. You've tested it there. You tested it again there. Dude, this is 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I don't like to see support tested that many times. This is like same thing with resistance. If it gets tested that many times, it's almost like a battering ram trying to blow through a door. Like you're gonna, it's not gonna be fun. I would definitely, I don't know if they're trying to go long or short.
Jason, can you throw the timer back up?
Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to go long or short here, but this is not.
Look, crypto's got, you need the Clarity Act signed. It's going to be such a hit or miss without it.
I would steer clear of Coinbase as long as it's under 200, generally speaking. If it's over 200, cool. Then you could start thinking that it's got a chance to survive. But until then, I think I'm just going to tie off on this one. But from over here all the way back to inception 2021, that's the lows over here. And you basically just rejected that almost cleanly. So yeah, I don't know. I don't like that one. Marvell though, it's a little bit different. Marvell it's definitely extended. I'm going to do a slightly shorter timer here.
Yep.
We have a gap after an announcement. I'm not sure what that announcement was for. Right here,
they got on the S&P 500 on Friday.
Yeah, this is Monday the 1st. S&P 500, I don't know, is going to move this one that much, but if this gets back,
you know what it was? You said Monday. Jensen at the NVIDIA keynote conference said Marvell is going to be $1 trillion company, or should be $1 trillion company.
That's right. So the 260 is kind of like the line in the sand right now. It's tested it 3 times. I think you can get a bounce again, but if it doesn't get back over and hold 280, then it's likely that we we see that entire gap get filled this month, and that would be down to 220. So resistance on that is real resistance 330. A pivot is 275. Just a pivot, like, is it in a near-term uptrend or near-term downtrend? Otherwise, like a legit, this is so crazy. A legit pullback's about 215 on this guy. But you're really hot on this one. So I think this is one where, like, if you really didn't own it, maybe you could take a small nibble, but with a plan to take significantly bigger chunks if this comes back down or comes down lower. Credo, this one is, I don't know about this one. I think they just reported.
I don't even know what this is.
Optics. It's a company that does Ethernet and fiber cabling company, if you will. Connectivity solutions for data infrastructure market. It's good. These are the ones that took a pivot. So they were heavy Ethernet, and then they went into optics or fiber via acquisition. So it's not horrible. This is like a very large kind of consolidation area here. So it's holding above. It's in this environment, it's kind of questionable. Like, okay, why this one over all the other ones? Which to me, I honestly don't know. So we'll have to see. Upside here is 297 into 340s if it does continue. But you don't want to see this below 215. Below 215 supports at 165 on Liquido. Lab Rockets. I'm going a little faster here. Lab Rockets needed to get over 121. That was kind of like that pivot. And here, small bounce, failure, 121. It would have had a shot into 165s. These little green arrows like this, these are pathing. So potential quick movements for stocks if they get over certain levels. So on Rocket Lab, what was support? It's at 121. That's now acting as resistance. So if it is significantly over, like, let's say 120, I don't know, just call it 527. It's 121.30. There's a small little area in here. This whole area is resistance. It's not like a line in the sand. It can get back to 143, up into 171. That can happen fairly quickly. I think that's going to be more of a Friday thing if it does. Otherwise, 99 is your near-term support, and it got very close to testing that. So that's that prior high over here, retested. This is the entire consolidation down here, 99 down to 56. It's one more. This is similar to, like, if SPY did that full pullback, that's what Rocket Lab's essentially already done, just in very short order. That's this one. I think ASTS is going to be somewhat similar. SHLD. Not doing that. Hood. So defense ETFs, I don't, especially illiquid ones like that, I wouldn't do. We could probably look at, like, actual defense companies if you wanted to pick one. Hoodie, more interesting. So a couple catalysts on deck post earnings. Just took all the drawings off right now, but generally speaking, bulls are bullish, and umbrellas is what we usually say. Umbrellas like this are bearish. So here's your umbrella, and the bulls are bullish. That's kind of setting up both ways coming out of this end right here. So if we do get a little rotation in general, I like the idea of a hood getting a bounce here. Where does it go to? That's the resistance here is slightly over 100. And we have a session gap at 98. So this is still on track. We do have a small change of structure here, meaning, like, we have a new series of higher highs and higher lows, but it's very nuanced and very short term. It's this guy right here. So slight uptrend, but not anything to get too excited about just yet. it's more of a watch. Oh, if it's holding over 91, yeah, we can probably get into that nearly 121, 120 type area as overhead resistance. What's your favorite defense stock, Steve? Since someone asked for Shield, I'm not gonna. I don't want to do an ETF. This looks ugly as an ETF.
I mean, I think Raytheon's going to do. I'm not in it. Raytheon and Lockheed Martin.
So, from a value perspective, I agree. Right. The only thing I'd say, like, that's a little. So this is like a hood setup. This looks good. RTX is Raytheon. I mean, the chart's very good. This is like Golden Dome thing. Would they all have a piece of the Golden Dome? I mean, literally, they all do. Primes would be like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon. Those are like your main primes. We call primes vendors. But yeah, this is a solid bounce back. This is a market cap thing, though. I don't know how that ETF is weighted. This is a larger market cap company, $245 billion market cap. It's a little hot. If it doesn't recover here, then it could pull back after a big run like this, especially if you think the war is going to end, then something like this could. Oops, L3 Harris is not. So I'm just looking at the larger ones. L3 Harris, LMT, all very similar setups where they're bouncy. All the same exact setups, actually. Northrop Grumman looks like it's the best trade location. That's NOC. These are all equity. Not optional, but these are more equity trades. So depending on how that ETF is constructed, this would be kind of like that similar setup where you have like a break above retest extension. This is a big pullback from nearly 800 to, that's a lot of percent. 30%.
I don't follow these companies, so I can't help you with anything on the fundamentals. It's not something I really follow.
I mean, these are all, it's about like the Shield contract stuff, which is different. Shield contract different. There's like, what do they have in the pipeline? All of these guys are oversubscribed. I'd say they have oversubscribed in terms of like, they have very massive backlogs also, just like semiconductors. But the backlogs here, it's like, can they deliver on a lot of that stuff? It becomes a situation like that. But generally speaking, LMT actually looks like a I don't know. This looks like a really good spot. 120. I don't know how RTX became. Dude, how did RTX become twice the size of Lockheed Martin? That seems a little sketchy. But
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And how did Palantir become bigger than both of them combined?
There's that. Amcor, I think, is good. This is a consolidation here. I like this a lot. This is one of those bottleneck kind of trades for CoWoS and stuff like that. This TMC, Taiwan Semi bottleneck, if you will. So they're at capacity. I think as a foundry, I think that, part of when they're at capacity, they'll use a company like Amcor here, another company called ASX, which is ASE Technologies. These are all very similar. ASX is bigger than Amcor. Amcor is a little bit smaller. And then there's another one called Camtech, all in the same kind of industry, doing advanced packaging is what they call it. So over 75, this is $100 stock to me. It's just one of those smaller. This one has a lot of runway in my mind. I don't think this is nearly close to done. I know it's come a long ways, but it's a $17 billion company. I think this is consolidating for the next run, quite frankly. As long as the only issue here is, like, let's say if Global Foundries, GFS, actually takes on some other like capacity or what you're seeing in Intel, like, the Intel CEO said, like, wait till you see me do packaging. This Intel getting into advanced packaging and stuff would be the real threat to a company like Amcor, but I feel like that's quite a ways away. But these look good.
Jason, can you do Palantir next, since we were doing defense?
Well, what percent of Palantir is defense? I don't know. Palantir is a hold for sure. If I'm just going to go buy, sell, hold, it's a hold. It is also not broken support. So support is actually developing fairly strong right around today's low, right around 125. Actually, might have been a good pickup today. Resistance is in that 165, actually slightly higher now to about 170 area. So this can ping pong for a while, but it is a definite hold. It's not a short. It's not a screaming buy. I think you're at the lower end of support right now. So if you're someone that's trying to accumulate net new positions on Palantir, today actually was a pretty good day to try and pick that up. Not gonna lie, that's not a bad spot. But it's not out of the weeds yet. So from a trading perspective, we traders don't even attempt to snipe the lows. That has nothing to do with trading. That's just a myth. But you are on that kind of like 125 support line that's been developing here. What I can tell you from a trader's perspective is that I need to have, I'll be able to see when buyers really step in. And today looks like a bounce day. Can you get a bounce like this? I think that's more of a short covering. So these kind of things right here that I see, if we see stuff like this post earnings, a big, what is that? 24, 36 hour run on Palantir. That's mass $30. Seemingly out of nowhere. I don't even know if that was on an announcement or what. 20%. I don't know. But gets pulled back over the following week. That's more of a short covering situation. It's not bad, but it just means it's not going to stick. So we're kind of back to where we were and hasn't actually changed on this one. I like Microsoft on this list. Microsoft, I like in general. 470 is overhead resistance.
Well, after you do the technicals, I can show you some stuff about Microsoft that'll blow your mind if you want.
So I couldn't be more bullish on Microsoft in general. I think this is stupid. I think it's stupid because, well, it doesn't matter why, but like just because I think it's dumb doesn't mean it's going to turn around either. Eventually, this is one where I would say like, yeah, it is going to turn around. They have custom silicon. They have something called Maya. I think it's called MAIA. Is that how you pronounce it? Their TPU equivalent, which is specifically built for inference. And the fact that they offered it to Anthropic, to me, in Microsoft's custom silicon as opposed to Trainium on AWS or TPU on Google and AWS, they're offering it to the consumer right now live. The difference here is that Microsoft historically has not, and it's kind of been like a homegrown secret. And I think they're just using it internally to drive down internal costs. But they had a deal with Anthropic to let Anthropic buy their custom silicon, which is the only one that's built specifically for inexpensive inference. If whether or not they get that deal with Anthropic, I actually don't care. The fact that they were even thinking about letting someone else buy it externally for production use case, to me tells me that it's going to go live at some point in the near future. Anyways, and the market just doesn't remember that. And so I think that is kind of like a free call option, if you will, on the stock. Support here is about 388 down to 335. So like heavy support is in 335. I like it there. I like this on every and all pullbacks, as long as you have a long enough time horizon. So like 3 to 5 plus years in general. But that's my take on the softy here of the Microsofts. What do you think? Testing.
Yeah, I don't understand how Microsoft is where it is. If I showed you the forward earnings perspective and if I showed you the side-by-side comparison against Apple, Apple is a 1.4 trillion larger market cap, yet they do more revenue and Microsoft does more profitability up and down the line than Apple with better margins and
Yep.
more forward earnings growth. It's disgusting.
Yeah. So my bull case aside, which is the custom silicon piece that's not being rated into the stock right now, the bear case is comical to me. like the bear case being it's a software company that we're re-rating the value of the software. Okay. So let me get this straight. So you're saying that Anthropic and OpenAI are going to replace Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, whatever. So what? First of all, I mean, no.
And Teams and Outlook and Windows and LinkedIn and
Windows,
OneDrive,
Dynamics, whatever,
Fabric, and everything else.
Yeah, like SQL. Is it gonna? It's gonna replace.
Here's
SQL
the big
BI.
thing that people misunderstand. They don't understand and have never heard of enterprise agreement. Two very important words in the contract world.
Yeah.
And you cannot get out of enterprise agreements. You're locked in for 5 years with Microsoft. And businesses run on this. They're not ripping and replacing. Like everybody who is spitballing this online work for themselves or work for a little company. They don't work in corporate America.
Yeah. So that said, while Steve and I might be bullish, and we might even fight each other over who gets to take Microsoft on the stock draft, apparently, which, by the way, I'm coming to June 20th, I heard.
By the way, I currently have Microsoft. Have you seen the actual numbers right now?
No, dude, I have no idea to see what anybody has. Like, I'm flying blind as blind can be. Like straight up right now. So if you got the sheet, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, I'm going to show you right now real quick. It's pretty wild.
So take mine down, show
I'm
me.
going to take yours down. I'm going to share mine real quick. We got 5 trading days left, and it's a 3-legged race for first place, ladies and gentlemen.
No way.
3-legged race for first place. Are you ready for how bad the portfolios are?
What? Stop it.
So Amit's done really well. He has 6 out of 10 winners, which I think is a record. Duolingo is screwing him.
So are these cumulative returns? That you're
Equal weight cumulative.
Cumulative.
So average. It's average. Averaged out.
Wait, which one is it? There's a difference. It's not that does not look like cumulative.
It's averaged out.
Okay, that's average. If it was cumulative, it'd be 9.
I misspoke. It's averaged out.
Okay.
So
why don't you do a tiebreaker of cumulative return?
It can be discussed. And then you got Matt Money going all growth names pretty much, except for Berkshire.
Dude, okay, but why is it an average? That's not if it should be a cumulative return. Because if it was 10 positions at, call it $100,000 per position, it's the total, not the average.
No, we're averaging it. What's the average?
I know, but that's not how real world money works.
That's how we did this.
But that doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense.
It makes nonsense.
Perfect sense.
Nonsense.
Perfect sense.
Nonsense, bro. So you're telling me if I took 10 positions, I had $1 million, I put 100K into one, I should only actually think of it as the average, not the total?
Yeah, it's equal weighted average.
No, that's the wrong math.
No, it's equal weight average.
Nonsense.
It is.
I know, but that's not how money works.
Yeah, but if you read the prospectus, you know the rules.
And I asked you questions, and I was like,
which I have not responded to. I just
know.
saw it.
I just caught this because I'd never seen this before.
I just saw it. So these were Chris's picks.
This should definitely be cumulative return.
This is mine. I only have 3 winners.
Oh, see, guys, this is why this right here. This is why he doesn't want cumulative return. Hold on, just throw me a sum of real quick in the cells, and let's say like next to it, sum of whatever 16 down to yeah. See, look, you don't 510%. Okay, what is the rest?
And then we got Tanner.
Jason's auditing the draft.
We got Tanner.
So, like, what would Tanner's cumulative be?
I'm
just telling you, Tanner would be feeling a lot better. So this is 10x, whatever the average is. Okay, because there's only 10.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Cumulative and average is basically the same thing. It's just what the decimal point is. So that's where you are. This is how we're thinking with positions that we took.
Yeah. And so I'll put in a request for cumulative return, not average.
Okay. We're going to have a pre-meeting before we go live. So.
See, I was wondering why it wasn't. I was like, this can't be right.
Yeah, no. We're going to have a pre-meeting before we go live to discuss, get everything done.
So here's the deal on Microsofty. If the market just continues to be dumb, and you know what's the saying, Steve? The markets can stay. What is it? Dumb. Oh wow! The market can stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid. I think that's the.
I disagree.
Well,
the market can go down 50%. I'll stay liquid.
You,
yes.
Then a trader is this trader.
Now, trading 100%, but if you're in the S&P, you're good.
Yeah. So from a trader's perspective, this can be irrational longer than you can stay liquid, I think is my first point. The second one, so that all that means is that you have to plan to DCA into something like this or very long hold. Right here, right now, I think that 385 area right in here, this becomes like your key support. That's 385 down to 330, which is what it just came out of here. That was actually, I believe, on that Maya announcement. If this doesn't hold, that's fine. The next buy spot is as close to 280 as possible. And that's going to retest essentially this area right in here. If I took all these kind of numbers and stuff off on the right hand side of my screen, this is something called a volume profile. It's different than time and price, but what that shows is kind of like where the high traffic areas are on the stock. And so the biggest high traffic areas, the next one is going to be right around this 280 area, which if I drew this, you can kind of see this was a pivot before an explosion point support. This was a big high traffic area. That would be, so I'm already in from over here. I'm not changing it, but with room to buy more, sub 300 essentially, if I see it, which I don't know that I'll see it, but if I do, I want to be ready for that. Cool. Well, you got some you got some interesting ones here. Someone's requesting MXL. So Max Linear, this is I think this is Edge. This is Photonics, I believe. Yeah, SoC. So system on chip. This is the AI play kind of setup. This, I believe, yeah, you're just now coming in. I would say as close to 50 as possible, unless this is instantly back over 78. So today is like the first breach into. This is off an insane earnings over here. This is all AI, and the picks and shovels of picks and shovels trade support area in this $50 range right now. It doesn't have to get there. It can easily just kind of like, I'd say like get back up over 78. And if that's the case, then just go with that. Yeah, I have a lot of congestion. Sub 60 as close to 50 as possible on this guy, sitting at a $6 billion, $5 billion market cap. It's an interesting one. Unlike who asked for Clover?
I'd have to go back and look. I have no idea.
There's I've never even heard of this. Do you know what this is? ENLV?
I have no idea what that is either.
Skip that. It's 160 million market cap. I mean, you can, but like this is a penny stock that does.
You could skip it. Go to the next one.
Immunotherapy products. So this is biotech. I think biotech in general is kind of interesting. There's a lot of stuff on like GLP-1s and things like that right now. So, but unless you have insider knowledge of trials and things like that on biotech specifically, it's very hard. GLW, this is right on that last pivot right here.
You ready? Can I tell you something crazy with Corning?
What's that?
I have owned this
Since 20?
Hold on, I'll tell you exactly when.
25.
This is gonna hurt for me admitting this.
Oh, wait, you don't own it anymore?
No. I have owned it since like 27.
Okay, I thought it was gonna say $3, guys.
And I only have a couple of shares in my dividend harvesting portfolio for Seeking Alpha. I don't even have it as a real position.
Oh wow, it's a real position for me. Yeah, I like it a lot, but I mean, that said, it's also run a lot. I think in general, like, and these are the ones where, look, Corning, we knew that it had another hyperscale deal. It just announced the deal with Amazon. There is definitively another deal that they need to announce. They only announce the deals officially when like they're locked in and contracted. So they talked about. So first they had the deal with Meta, right? Which was like $5-6 billion, something like that. And then on the last earnings, they mentioned that they had 2 more deals, equal size and scope. I think there's another deal. So since then, they mentioned NVIDIA's NVLink. So Corning goes into every piece of NVIDIA NVLink systems. And then now they just announced a deal with Amazon. I believe there's another one that they will announce later on, which is obviously either going to be Google or Microsoft. But my point is, even if they don't announce them today, they're going to get a deal with Google and Microsoft. This is just the traction. It's essentially a re-rate story. So like Corning, historically, when Steve initially bought it at $3, this was probably just a glass company or maybe even a solar panel company. It's basically rebranding itself today to be a core data center connectivity play. And I think it deserves its place. So that said, it can be a little chunky at times. This is definitely very nearly support 165 here. I just don't want to see it lose that. As long as it's hovering over that, I'm actually okay for a longer term. But I do like it. And I do see some more, at least TAM expansion. Small amount. It's expensive. Nobody's questioning that if you're looking at it from a historical metric perspective. But it's about the forward looking. Like they're going to get another 6 billion plus with Google. They're going to get another 6 billion plus with Microsoft. I think it's and from there what happens to this one.
Bless you.
CoreWeave. I like CoreWeave here now, actually. Probably should have bought it. 92. This can go slightly lower. I like CoreWeave on dips here for the foreseeable future. Like listening to all these earnings calls, these guys actually sounded like they had a differentiator. It did sound like all of those neoclouds are decidedly in their own investment phases, meaning like they're having to invest in their own companies right now. So the payoff is much further down the line, quite frankly, at least from a business perspective. Overhead resistance, 126 to 145, which it just came out of, which brings you down to support right around low 90s to high 80s on this guy, ideally. Like baseline supports at 70, but I don't know that we actually see that one again. Did anybody ask for Nebius? Nebius. Super similar. 215 was that support. Ooh. Oh, baby. Nebius looks better. We watch this from here forward. So Nebius 215 was support. It tagged that, actually got all the way down to 202. Dude, I didn't really realize how big of a bounce some of these things had at the close. 11% bounce in the back half of the day.
Yep.
That's a big bounce, reclaiming the 20. So here now, it's interesting. I like it. The very near term trend here, I mean, very near term, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days is a downtrend. I want to see this get over 230 and hold moving forward, and then she is back in business. And this should be over 330 probably is a guess. But if this cannot hold 215 next week, the next level here is like 175 down to 150, at which point I would probably be a nibbler also down there. I like these. You pick one.
Let's do IREN also, since we just did Nebius and CoreWeave.
Yeah, IREN was actually also an equally good spot. So $53, I think I had outlined on my last TT with our boy before he got COVID. Can't believe, who gets COVID anymore? That is like an extinct disease.
You know what? It seems like Amit gets COVID.
Dude, I didn't even know that existed anymore. Anyways, this $53 area, that is actually support. It's just slightly over the 50-day. It's support. Doesn't mean it's going. When something's at support, it doesn't mean that it's going to go up. By the way, it just means that like you could get a bounce. The bounce is into resistance right around 60, and that's exactly where it bounced to the last, like just the other day, from 50 to $60. Now, depending on the kind of trader that you are, that might be a very good intraday day trade. So like if Steve was actually really succeeding at his day trading like endeavor, he would probably be just zoned in on something like an IREN here, taking it from 50 to 60 and selling it, right? And then maybe flipping short and maybe ping-ponging that for a little while. But that's not what he's doing right now. So like you might look at this and be like, this is support. This is my caution, is that it needs to get over 62 and ultimately over 68. And then this has the potential from a chart perspective to be extremely bullish. Like, so remember, bulls are bullish and umbrellas are bearish. This is a very big bull. And that bull would ultimately resolve itself from a technical perspective into the 120 area, potentially even slightly higher. But at a $50 stock, this is intense, especially knowing what it is. This is a very intense setup. I would be extremely patient here. And there's really no way for this to invalidate itself other than trading below 35s. So here now, it's a long, but a longer hold also. Different kind of setup. What do you think about Intuit? Oh God.
I don't like Intuit. And I'll tell you why I don't like Intuit. I think that QuickBooks as a single point software, and look, I don't use QuickBooks. I don't think it has as big of a moat as a ERP solution such as Workday.
There's zero shot that we're not paying for QuickBooks as as our company. I mean, less than zero shot. It's and this is like CRM too. It's funny to me that like these guys, you know, yes, best quarters ever.
Yeah, but what are you using QuickBooks for? If you don't mind me asking.
Like my CFO uses QuickBooks.
Yeah, but for what?
All our reporting metrics.
Reporting metrics, but you're not running payroll or anything out of it, right?
Yes.
Oh, you can run payroll out of QuickBooks? I didn't know that.
Yeah, payroll.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely runs payroll. So yeah, I don't know. Like these are companies where it's honestly just, and I kind of go through this all the time. It's like it's the fact that it's the fact that like, yeah, so this is QuickBooks, I don't know, go max earnings and revenue. Like, it's nothing but up and to the right. Yes, absolutely the best quarter ever from a revenue and profitability perspective. It's nothing but up and to the right. This is Intuit. It's a re-rate in terms of this type of stability in both profit and revenue held a premium valuation for a very long time in the stock market. The same thing is true for CRM. You know, CRM probably even more aggressive. Yeah, that's even more. Yes. No, it actually wasn't CRM. It was CRM's second best quarter ever. Sorry. But it was actually their most profitable quarter ever. And nothing but up and to the right on both revenue and earnings. I don't see any signs of this on paper slowing down. That's just me. ServiceNow is actually the same. So the question, actually, it's not quite the same. ServiceNow is definitely not the same. Actually, that's not the right company. I don't know what company I was. Okay, ServiceNow is exactly the same, but even on a more parabolic perspective. Look at that. Nothing but up and to the right since inception, and these are their best quarters from both a revenue and profitability perspective ever. It's literally just a matter of, see these estimates coming down? It's a matter of like this level of consistency for that many years held a specific PE premium multiple before the story of OpenAI and Anthropic, et cetera. And now it doesn't. And that's literally just a re-rating scenario that does in fact take these companies down. I have no idea what Adobe looks like from a price perspective. Oh my God, dude. Adobe is exactly the same. Did you know this? I did not.
If I showed you the valuation across these three, it's insane.
Yeah, so nothing but up and to the right from both a revenue and margin perspective, profitability. So this is reminiscent of COVID, quite frankly, where it's like the market just thought that these companies were going to take it on the chin. What I'm seeing is the exact opposite. What I'm seeing is I'm not seeing massive acceleration. I'm seeing no deceleration though, none. And so like, if all these companies need to do is sustain this trajectory, or it's probably going to take a while, but if these companies sustain this trajectory for a while, those premiums will slowly come back. But they near term, I had not actually looked at Adobe's. This is a little aggressive.
I mean, look,
I'm looking at a company that hasn't missed a beat, dude.
Yeah, the problem is everybody is saying that these companies are going to give vibe code away. You want me to show you the crazy part with these companies?
I think this is the exact situation of the market can stay irrational longer than you could stay liquid as a trader, because yeah, this, I don't know, man. Anyways, I mean, these are very close. So what was it? Intuit, I have a line here, 272. That's this prior kind of like congestion area right around here. 272. I don't think I can not buy that at that perspective. From that perspective. Yeah, I don't see how I couldn't. ServiceNow is basically on it, so it tagged a similar kind of setup right around 81. What are the PEs here? 110, I think, was the. This is actually where I would need, if you know it, what the PE is. Anyways, I don't remember where to find it. Doesn't matter. Right here, right now, this is support. So this on ServiceNow, this is actually where we broke out of before. It was resistance up over here. This is about 105 to 110. And then now we just tested it here. So today, actually, if you're into these, this is a spot that you start to look for right now. As close to 100 as you can. Knowing that, yeah, it could potentially go lower, but again, this type of thing, I don't think it's a short-term fix. I think it's like the market's going to basically want to see Anthropic, OpenAI be around for a while and not disrupt these. And in addition, these companies cannot miss a beat on their earnings for like the next year. So this is going to be a process in general. Someone's got Qualcomm. So Qualcomm here, 188 is the second level. We do wow. I walked away from my computer for a little while today. I missed a lot of crazy spots. Jeez. So Breach, this is kind of fake pop. Jensen says buy Qualcomm and then is reported way after the fact. 175 is actually like a big pullback on this guy. I believe that's going to be about 50% off of the bounce from 120s. I somehow I actually sniped the crap out of this from the jump, dude. Yeah, so this is actually getting me pretty clean. Sub 190 on dips. The thing about Qualcomm, they have an investor day coming up at the end of the month, so there's some kind of catalyst here. If you're looking at something like, look at Apple for a minute. Sometimes you'll get runs up into an investor day. I haven't been using the stupid timer. Like we did on Qualcomm, I think over here in the midst of this kind of AI pullback, Marvell, Qualcomm, a lot of the other names, Micron, etc. This is just a high flyer that's gonna take a quick breather. I don't think anything changes on this. There's a lot to look forward to on Qualcomm long term. This is a question of whether or not Christian is able to deliver, because their CEO's like, he's got his hands in a lot of cookie jars. I think it's super bullish what their potential is, both from a data center AI perspective and an edge AI perspective on both counts. But I think long term, you probably want to be more patient on this guy. This is the very long, this is a weekly chart, long-term trajectory here on this current trend. This is like Marvell-esque type chart to me. This can be in the 300s, potentially 400s within a year or so if they're able to deliver on half the things that they're saying that they could be able to deliver on. And this is in the middle of a re-rate story to me also. I mean, clearly a re-rate story, because at $180, this was decidedly a cell phone company. And on June 24th, they're basically going to tell the market that they are or are not still a data center company or a cell phone company. They start talking about cars. I'm not going to be interested. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm not that interested. They start talking about AI 250 chips, which is their data center, actual, like, goes into the data center, not a cell phone chip. I'm interested. But right here, right now, this 290 aligns with that top right there. So as long as this can hold right in here, that's how we resolve higher. Did you say you sold a semiconductor today?
No, I did not.
I saw a post, a video or something. You sold Micron.
Yeah, that was the other day.
Oh, okay.
I sold Micron at $998 and bought Broadcom at $406.
Why?
Because Broadcom's quarter was that damn good.
Nah. Fair enough.
And it fell 12.5% 2 days, or maybe more. It was just, the quarter was incredible. The forward growth is incredible. And I made 41% in 23 days on Micron. So I said, you know what?
Did you took so long?
43% of this investment is paid for by Micron profits.
Yeah. I think a pullback on Micron can easily take this back to like 700s, 730s. I don't know what your entry was, but yeah.
Oh, my entry on Micron was 707.
Yeah, it could easily, a basic pullback on a Micron could easily take it right back there. Just on a technical perspective, easily. And still be a good trade to go long from there. So maybe you get both. Broadcom, 360s. So Broadcom DCA down to 340s, high 340s, if you get it. 379, 369 today looks like a pretty solid scalp. If this is below 360, then you will get your low 300s add on this guy from a tactical perspective. Because most of the trades are right around that 340, 330 area more recently on Broadcom, and that actually that's this green and red. This is called a channel on my screen. The low end of that is 330s here in near term. And if it does get to the low end, sometimes it'll breach it like that. That's that series of higher highs and higher lows kind of like visualized as a lane. So even if it comes all the way down to that, it's still in a broad uptrend on Le Broadcom. Yeah, dip got bought pretty heavily on this guy. I think it's just, dude, I'm just looking at a lot of fears. Someone's asking Redwire in the chat. Redwire, this one, they did a raise today. I think this goes with, so you got to wait and see. This had AE, I never remember. AE Partners or something like that. Selling. I do want to check this. Redwire. So they had one seller, AE Industries. AE Red was the name of the company. Selling all this May, April. Look at this, all of it. This is a public entity, like a board director, 10% over 10% owner. They'd invested in this company and were publicly stating that we're exiting our position because we had accomplished what we were trying to accomplish. But the last sale on record is May 18th. It's June. So to me, they stopped selling. Like they just stopped selling altogether. And so they've essentially, as I saw it, it was like these guys were keeping a lid on the stock. After May 18th, the stock actually ends up going significantly higher. Here's May. And so like the 18th is the second that they stop selling, the stock like absolutely rips the upside. CENTCOM. But today they did a raise, so I don't know what that puts them at from a money perspective, but at least the big seller is out of the way to me. Strikes response to yesterday's. So we're striking right now.
Looks like it.
I don't have a futures live account. That's not the right. It's not live. Someone's gonna have to come on. SMCI plans $7 billion in equity. Dude. SMCI raise also live. And what's happening with these guys right now? Dude, Matthew, I actually bought 33K worth of 950 micron calls. The odds that you're no, I actually, that's an aggressive strike. I don't know. It's an expensive one. Yeah, SMCI is on a raise. The dilution again. These guys kill me, man. Steve's got one in his list that is interesting to me. It's QXO. So home builders catch a bid today. Did I don't want to see this calendar. I didn't even see the home numbers. Were they good?
I didn't even look.
Okay. So existing sales 417 versus 40, like just over 4 mil. Okay. Existing home sales. That's actually so 3.2% on expectations of 0.5%. That's this home sales. It's monthly.
Yep, month over month.
Yeah, but that right there is probably what's going to push all this. I mean, we are. Yeah, I think everybody was thinking that we would start to trend down, and that kind of comes out of nowhere, really. I think it becomes interesting for something like a QXO if we see some like continued momentum, because this is right off the lows. I mean, right off the lows, almost to a point where it would be what you don't want. And so it's like it's literally at the bottom of its like sustainable trend range right now. So like where it sits, just under 15, I didn't even know that we were going to see it again. I like the turnaround story here. It's a pretty big pivot from when did this new CEO take over? Do you know?
It's not a new CEO. This is a, how do I describe it?
Yeah.
Brad Jacobs, who is the guy from United Rentals, United Waste, and XPO Logistics. He basically made this an acquisition holding company to a degree, and he's acquiring a bunch of different companies. And he's basically doing a M&A roll-up strategy through QXO. And they just acquired Top Build, which closes in Q3 for, I think, $19 billion. Before that, they acquired Kodiak, Beacon Roofing, and some other company.
When did this plan start, and like when did he take over?
8 months ago this happened. 9 months ago, fairly new.
So to me, that's what I was talking about, like new CEO, like from that perspective. So usually stuff like that takes like sometimes even 2 years to really bear fruit. Like GE, when Larry Culp came over, was about 2 years before it actually started. The plan actually started working. I think this can be the same kind of scenario, but here now looks like a pretty solid spot to hold, if you will. I like this for a starter position, definitely. Speaking of URI, did you know that this is like a stealth AI trade?
A stealth AI trade? Tell me about it. No, I do not.
Really? And XPO? Really?
No, really.
Okay. You know, CAT is a stealth AI trade, right?
You said CAT as in Caterpillar?
Correct.
That I have an idea.
Okay. So in the same lines of thinking, Caterpillar, stealth AI trade. It was the AI trade that was like screaming in everyone's faces that they didn't really put together right away. But I mean, all these data centers got to get built, right? All this construction, everything. So this is CAT in addition to whatever they were doing. And it's all there. It's they buy the equipment, but they don't always buy the equipment, right, Steve?
Right.
Sometimes they rent it from who? URI.
Sometimes they rent it, correct?
From URI, which becomes the stealth AI trade.
Yeah.
right there. Crazy. Same logic though. XPO Logistics. There's definitively a logistics angle to the entire AI trade. I will tell you, like, less than truckload is a big thing. So like when you buy gear, you got to get it shipped to the data center, right? It's literally just like that. Coming from the enterprise, when we used to do this, we would use pretty much exclusively two companies. XPO Logistics is one that we would use. And if you were to have your agents scrub these earnings transcripts, I would bet that they're going to talk about data center gear being a significant component of their revenue right now. The others are like Expeditors International right here, sitting at 166. This is happening. Expeditors International, specifically Expeditors. Where does the gear come from? It comes from Taiwan, right? Most of the time from Foxconn. It comes from Foxconn and it comes over to the US or whatever country, but it has to go through, oh my goodness, it has to go through customs. Expeditors specifically specializes in customs for IT gear. These are your go-to every time, every single time when we ever shipped anything international. I don't think this stops. I think this is kind of like one of those stealth AI trades that is not as picks and shovels, but it's a secondary, maybe even tertiary beneficiary. Saya is the other LTL, less than truckload. These guys are also very explicitly in the shipping game for like enterprise technology gear, for sure. And I don't think these were slowing down anytime soon. Plus, they had their own kind of tailwinds anyway, specifically Saya having had a pretty big turnaround. But interesting ones for sure. Not your normal typical stuff, but this is the kind of stuff that I'm actually into sometimes. Honeywell. How do you like Honeywell?
I love Honeywell.
I fracking love it, dude.
Not as much as I like Vertiv or Eden, but I love Honeywell. Same thing with Johnson Controls.
Okay, so that's a whole different. So I love Honeywell for more than all those. So Honeywell, Johnson Controls, this is building automation, data center automation for the, like when you think of CAT, right? You think of all the stuff that's happening in this area. They're building automation components. They're about to spin off. I don't know why it fell down. I think right here, right now is a very good investable level long-term. I don't think this is done by any means. I think this is probably one of the best spots for an investable opportunity on Honeywell right here, right now. Having had, like, how long is this base? A 5-year consolidation, just now about to break out, having already spun out Souls, their chemicals division. Sorry, I just burped in the mic. about to spin off their space division, the aerospace division. So you'll see if you're an options trader. I don't know what the ratio is yet, but it was 1 to 4. So for every 4 shares of Honeywell, it was 25 to 100 is what it was. Every 100 shares of Honeywells that you had before, you got 25 shares of SOLS, which is their chemicals, specialty chemicals company, which is this right here. There's going to be another one. HONA is going to be the aerospace spinoff. So think of it like GE, where GE had existed for forever. Larry Culp's kind of like mystical magic from just a finance freaking fucking god in in the market. Spins off GEHC first, GE Healthcare, which, by the way, this healthcare unit for GE had always held them down. I was so happy to see that. Sold that crap right away. And then they spun off GEV after the GE Healthcare spinoff was, and here is your never sell bucket. I think specifically these guys, maybe a little stretched, maybe not, who knows, maybe it's a good spot, but Honeywell's going through the same kind of transition now. Specifically Honeywell for building automation and things like that. Johnson Controls, JCI is actually very similar. I think the construction area, if you look around the board, these construction stocks that are AI adjacent, specifically JCI, are extremely bullish. And so where's the pullback on a JCI right now? I don't see it. And so this is one thing where I would say, look at what's going on here. There's no pullback on this stock. Is it because it's that unknown? I don't know. It's a $90 billion market cap company at this point. Maybe it's expensive, probably expensive. But yeah, this whole situation on a lot of these, to me, Carrier Global is another one. I think is ripe and ready. Again, this is data center. They have like HVAC. I think it's HVAC specifically. Climate energy solutions has a data center angle, but you have to really dig for these things. They're out there, but the fact that it's not just like these are still holding, I think these still have more tailwinds. They have more room to run, but that's where I'm at. Let's check in with the Steve. Where are you feeling right now? Where do you want to go, sir?
Let's do a little Zeta.
Oops, Zeta. This looks decent. Did you ever pick it up at that 12 or whatever it was?
I mean, I own a good amount of it. I have not picked up more, but I do own a good amount of it.
Yeah, so long term, this is consolidation. I'm just going to take this timer down. This is setting up to be like a really big, call it bull, if you will, which this has to be a longer term perspective on this one. I think it's a very important, sorry, Iran update. They shot down a helicopter. We're responding as we speak. Okay, fine. This does not look bad at all. I think a lot of this comes down to CPI tomorrow. This is a basic pullback. It's actually held its own pretty well. It would be like in the low 16s if you got another shot. Otherwise, I think it's perfectly fine here. The ones that I would be really concerned about are, UNH has its own thing going for it. I think this is on its way to the 500 eventually. Oscar doing it like an active breakout also. But these are typically risk off as well. So like healthcare running like this, to me, they're twofold. One, it's going to run into this earnings, which is mid-July, early July. So it's about time for that. And it should have a decent earnings based on this new trajectory here. But if this is running and Oscar is running, which has an active breakout now, they can do this, but it's not the most bullish scenario for risk on equities either. Oklo is the short.
Do after Oklo, do Meta.
Meta's probably a short.
Don't say that.
Well, it's from a very near-term trading perspective.
Right.
I have a buy range on Meta sub 500 for a bigger buy. Like this is a spot where you can nibble. Meta. It's an extreme when it does weird stuff. It's low beta until it's high beta. If that makes sense. That's just kind of like the personality of Meta. It has to stop here now. If it doesn't, I would not try and snipe this month. Maybe wait till you're closer to 400s or even mid threes would be the next two areas of support. Not that makes any sense at all from a fundamental perspective. It doesn't. But from a technical perspective, it's extremely heavy. And right here, right now, it's like it's this 585 level, which has been acting as support here, and it was here and here. This was that kind of like port situation, which ended up being the stupidest blip down below, which created a lot of buyers. But regardless, it still has not been able to get out of its own way. So at the very best, it's a hold, but it's one of the weaker Mag 7s out there. right now from a technical perspective. Like if
How about Keel? A lot of people are going crazy over this company.
Look at the technicals on TradingView. It says it's strong sell. It's not even a normal. What's funny is it's a strong buy from a fundamental perspective. It's a strong sell from a technical perspective. I've never, like, you rarely see things on the total opposite sides of the scale, but yeah, that's what that is. Keel, I mean,
people are going crazy over it because of Leopold.
Yeah, I all the, so just like Iran, these are like power grab data center plays. The neo clouds, these are not even normal neo clouds. Like I would say CoreWeave, Nebius is like a neo cloud. It's like this. The data centers, I believe everybody is on the same page of they're oversubscribed. They're backlogged in the tens of hundreds of billions of dollars probably. And you can't, the second that you light up new gear, it's sold out, I think. At this point, like it's sold out. So it doesn't really require anything special near term for that type of company to generate revenue. This is just a personal take. Right, wrong, or diff doesn't matter. I think all the Bitcoin miners turned power grab neoclouds. They just they have to deal with, I mean, getting the old mining equipment off their books and expensing that, and then financing the new gear, which is just, I mean, it's hard enough for like a CoreWeave just to get funding to finance the new gear, much less expense like useless Bitcoin mining gear at the same time. But that said, it can be a pretty powerful setup because it's kind of coming from nowhere. And I will say, okay, stocks make the biggest moves when they're like at their worst. So pulling back here, I think $4. Yeah, about $4 I think is a basic pullback. You're not extending. It's at resistance right now. It's not happening right now. And you're on verge of actually pulling back to, well, you should pull back to 4s on this guy, give or take. Not that, I mean, it's a $5 stock. It was just a $2 stock the other day. So congrats, but let it breathe for sure.
Can you do Micron?
We did do Micron. It's at 700 on a pullback
again because Volk missed it. Thank you, Volk.
Oh, it's okay. It's because we don't have timestamps or chapters today, so it's going to be a little tough. Micron, yeah, I'd say 750s on a pullback. It doesn't have to pull back. Micron's in a setup where it's a very bearish pattern, but that pattern hasn't like fired away. So like, meaning like that pattern hasn't triggered officially. So this is what we would call a head and shoulders pattern. It's one of the most bearish patterns that you can find in the market. Technically that pattern would take it at least to 730s, if not 650s at minimum. But I'm not a pattern trader. It's important, I think, to know them. The most bullish scenarios are when these bearish patterns fail, and that pattern fails over 985. So over 985, this becomes a screaming long. I'll give you an example. Is freaking fracking Bloom Energy is the one that always sticks out of my memory just from recent. So Bloom Energy, if I can get this, was very similar, where this is the setup. This is just very clearly a head and shoulders again here, and here's your kind of like neckline, and you basically breached as and this is a pattern. Like some traders, it is what it is. I think it's important to know them, because when you at least know them, you know what other people are watching for and preparing for. And so the neckline is kind of like that pivot point at 86. If this had broken down here, then that would have had trajectory to be at least a low $40 stock, at least. And if those things happen, you have a this hits its target. This pattern technically hits its target about like 80% of the time, which is one of the better statistics in trading when it triggers. But knowing the trigger is what most people don't know. It started to trigger and then it just turned it right off. And I think that was on news flow or something like that. And this is what happens. I think we all kind of know what happened after the facts, but like this is how a short squeeze begins when everyone's kind of braced for that big failure, that big fall off a cliff kind of moment. It just creates a explosive kind of short squeeze. And this is immediately the reaction. So very bearish pattern that failed to fire off becomes a very bullish setup. And this is exactly what happens when those quote unquote patterns fail. And so, yeah, this is where Micron is right now. So I would say that a lot of people are probably very ready to have Micron fall. But if it doesn't, it's an extremely bullish pattern that probably sets it up for a setup that could set it up for like a $1,500 kind of price target. But your let's say call it neckline is like 850. And so it has to be trending below 850. Today we closed at 925, so we're not quite there yet. You can watch for it, but it's not there yet. I'm just Credo, Hood, Amcor, Nebius, HPE. HPE is interesting, but it's now going to fill the earnings gap low. So it's basically on it. It hit that earnings low. I mean, epic quarter on HPE. I don't without a raise. I think this is a dumb pullback. Also, they're getting no credit for the earnings. Just kind of how it goes. But this here now is like where it should stop technically. If it doesn't, then it's just not going to get any credit, and that's how it is. Navitas was in a similar kind of range. This is Edge AI, more Edge AI now. 23. It's a little tight. I think a lot of these have just kind of run, and so when I see stuff like this, I think of things in general, like what type of people are buying Navitas, you know, and a lot of these other MTX or MXL type companies. They're probably the same kind of I made a post the other day. It was like the same people that are probably getting mostly excited about this is my rant on the IPO. The same names that people are panicking over that were getting sold are the ones, like the people that want to buy SpaceX are the names coming down are the names that the people that want to buy SpaceX own today. And so like they're just, to me, I see it as those names getting sold to fund really the biggest IPOs in history coming. The thing is, they're back to back to back. I think that Friday's knee-jerk reaction, this definitively is where I'm at. Things will get too cheap sooner than later. Things will go too far too fast, and it is what it is. But when it happens, we don't know. I do want to look at one thing. I believe SoftBank. Actually is a lead on OpenAI, also the IPO. Underwriter. Goldman Sachs. What is SoftBank's position on this? Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley's are the lead underwriters on. Dude, this could be a whole nother angle for the financials. Goldman Sachs doing really good. Morgan Stanley holding it down. If interest rates go up near term, if that's the concern, plus the biggest IPOs in history, these are probably tailwinds for large financials potentially. That's an extension. LEU is on the list. This is nuclear. I think it's a little early. Yeah, this has got, so I would just chillax on LEU for a bit. This is same thing like CEG. Oops. Yeah, probably, yeah. Similar thing. This CEG has the Microsoft deal. Talon has the Amazon deal. Both of these nuke-ish companies getting a little pulled back. Grab had some news today, but didn't move at all. I think just no reason to act here. It's at the lows, but it's been at the lows. I don't have anything moving this. Modine. Holding it down, man. This is more in the construction area. This is specifically power, water cooling stuff. I think that's their deal. It says climate solutions performance, heat transfer products. Yeah, HVAC stuff. So just like my Carrier Global car, which looks very good, Modine is in the same space. I like car better. Yeah, this is up and to the right, kind of just general trajectory. This looks good. That's a buy, or at least a hold. Fluence is going to be, if I had to pick, I'd say sell. You're not ready on these guys. I'm seeing more trends on the construction field for data center adjacent companies. SoFi holding. SoFi could be a buy, just like Palantir and Hood would be a buy.
Oh, I like hearing that. I bought a bunch of spreads today.
You what?
I bought a bunch of spreads today.
On SoFi?
Yep. June 16th, 2028. Bought the 25, sold the 35s against it.
Ooh.
And they're up 17% today as I bought them at the low.
I'm just looking at it. Yeah, I don't hate that. $25. That's a weird pricing.
What's a weird pricing?
$10 wide.
Yeah, $10 width.
Yeah, I would think that you would. I feel like you should have been able to get that a little cheaper, but it's not bad at all. I think that's. I wouldn't go any less. I think that when people trade something like SoFi, I don't think they go wide enough on spreads, especially if you go like leap spreads. You actually need to go a lot wider than you would think. You might have been able to go 20-40, buy 20, sell 40. No, you're not going to get the same ratio. Well, you are. That's the exact same.
I mean, it's an 8-to-1 payoff on the spread I bought.
On paper, it is. Not in reality, it's not. It's not how they work, unfortunately. Because that's on expiration, which means that it'll only
right if I hold it the whole time.
No, like if you hold it the whole time, yeah, and it's over 35 on expiration, only if. But if it's at like 25, it's
right.
Not. Yeah. And if it gets to 45, the thing is about those, like if it gets to, let's say it gets to 50 by the end of this year, that spread's not going to be worth anything close to what it's supposed to be worth. That's what I'm talking. That's actually what usually is the problem with them. Which is my point was that actually people buy too tight, where they go like $5 wide on a SoFi, which is definitely not what you want to do. Ivy is not. It doesn't look bad. Yeah, Ivy cannot be bad. When I see a stock chart like this, that is like this sideways for this long, like that's pretty sideways. How long is that? That is, it's been basically this price for nearly 3 months. I don't even need to look this up. Oh yeah, IV percent, current IV percentile 21. It's cheap right now. Not a bad time. Not a bad time for all of these. But I think we got most of them. 4. I don't. This is more in the retail consumer stuff. Technically, I don't have anything here for you. This is more of a fundamental question. I think I got through all of them. Melly, I'm not. Melly's International. Mille. Mercado Libre.
A lot of people love that company.
It's a great company. Absolutely amazing company. It's at the 200 week. It can go a little bit lower, but quite frankly, anything with that type of a retrace on that large cap sustainable company is probably fine. If you see it at 1250, I think you pick it up. You know, it goes through the starts and spurts on Melly all the time.
Jason, can you do HIMS and an end phase?
So HIMS, if it gets some of the healthcare love that we're seeing across the board, that's probably good momentum trade. This could get to like 33s. On like a basic move. Yeah, I think HIMS, if you're trading it, I don't really know how to trade HIMS that well, quite frankly, because it's just not one that I paid that much attention to. I got to take some of these down. It's right there. So if this gets over 29 sustained, which it has not since, the big nastiness, this can get pretty wild. From a trading perspective, I think I'd rather HIMS. Okay, so if this is over like 29, 30 bucks, this can be 40 bucks or as high as 45 very quickly in this setup. This is a very squeezy setup. And it's in the right sector right now from a trading perspective, like a little bit defensive. Yeah, actually, that's HIMS. There's no short on HIMS at all right now. It's just potential. When is it going to break out, and where does it break out to? So over 30, you should see up to 40 plus, which makes me think Celsius in the same breath. If we go risk off, HIMS and Celsius. Oh, Celsius hasn't started at all yet. And it's on the level. It's literally stopped on a dime.
How about the one company that everybody's asking for that we didn't do? Tesla. What? Oh, Tesla heading into the SpaceX IPO.
Dude, Tesla broke down to the downside.
Everybody's saying I hate them because we didn't do Tesla. We're doing Tesla now. Don't worry. I saw your chat.
Just so you guys know, Steve did not put it on the list, so it wasn't going to get done. But Tesla was in like a pretty heavy consolidation. 415 is like the magic number on Tessie in general. That comes from this 489. But do you remember this? So I've taken all the drawings off now. So this right here is about 415 on Tessie. And if I were to take this box, like this is essentially the consolidation right about 415 here. So that 415 pivot, not only is it the horrific breakdown of 2021 that led to a 75% sell-off, it's also the failed breakout of 2025 that led to a 60% sell-off. It's this is where we are. We are literally right there. And so it's Tesla's long-term setup, which we're looking at right now. This is a weekly chart of Tesla. This is very bullish, generally speaking, long-term. But if this does not get back up and over that 415 very quickly, if it does, this is 600 plus, right? Maybe even higher over the next few years. But if it doesn't, the issue becomes like, okay, how many more times does this need to, what we call like back and fill? And that back and fill area is close to that 250 area. So here now, this is about to be the time where like, do I hedge or not? Because I have one of two things that are about to happen. And that 415 area is the biggest pivot of all pivots. Now I'm going to zoom back in here. One day does not make a trend. It just doesn't. Right now, we tried to hold over. We're barely holding on. 383 is just okay to me. I do not want to see this go much lower, because if it does, then I think, okay, my last sentiment was that Tesla in this area was sell calls all day, right? And collect some premium. And then right around here, I said, let's not sell calls anymore. All of this, let's not sell calls anymore. Let's see what she can do, the good old girl. I want to give her a shot. And so she did okay. It's right here, right now, in this last 3 days. And it's only 3 days. It's giving me a lot more cause for concern, because this consolidation that I want to see break to the upside has broken to the downside. But like I said earlier, I don't want to make any large decisions this week. But if this can't get back over 415, this needs to go back in the hedge like bucket, if you will. And that hedge would be down to 275s, give or take, on Tesla, which is going to be that midpoint of that long-term consolidation right here. So it's all good for now, but you know, I do want to somewhat be cautious that this could not work out. But I want to wait and see till Friday. I want to see Friday what happens. It's mango.
Mango.
I've never really had a mango. Now I understand this taste. And Vita, we should do. And then I'm going to close her out here pretty soon. I'm getting kind of tired. But I think this is actually exactly where I said NVIDIA on my Tuesday stream with COVID boy we could see 199 again. Dang. I missed out on a lot of stuff today. I think, yeah, these are charts. They're all at very critical pivots. Resistance is going to be at 2 is still last resistance with 225. If this can't get back over 212, which is the prior high over here, so this can get a bounce, right? What I want to see is I want to see it go higher than that. It can pull back a little bit, consolidate, and then I want to see ultimately resolve higher just like that. That's what I want to see. If bad essentially looks like this, where it stops at 212, makes another low, chops a bit, that's how we get back to essentially 165s again, which would be stupid, but it happens. That's how that would happen. So 212 is really your pivot, which is derived from this, November high of that prior consolidation range, the giant consolidation range, which is right now like essentially what we have. We have this is our consolidation box. You had one kind of look above over, holds, big push through. This one is okay, hold, but again, where we go into this lower high scenario, which is LH for lower high, I would really have wanted to see it hold that higher low here, and I didn't. So we've technically breached it. Anything that comes up it's kind of at risk. So all of this in general goes into a holding pattern at best on the next pop. So I'm not trying to. This is why I'm saying it's a hold. Even if tomorrow looks great, even if Friday looks great, it's all still at least a hold at best. Is it? What flavor did I say? It's mango. What flavor did I say?
Mango.
No, this is a Japanese drink. It's Nami. I think this action's due to SpaceX IPO, GD. I think. You know, the mango flavor is good. I thought it was going to be orange, like an orange crush. So it threw me a bit.
Are you a little disappointed and let down?
Oh no, I mean, now that I know it's mango, it's like, okay, it tastes mango. I'm mostly concerned, quite frankly, that I might have opened $1,000 can of soda, knowing that what you've told me now. I'm actually mostly.
What would you do if I told you that sealed boxes of Pokemon cards have outpaced the S&P 500?
Well, I would tell you. Have you not seen eBay's stock?
Have you not seen Hasbro? Yes, I watch eBay. I wrote an article about eBay.
You stop that. Hasbro, no. Hasbro hasn't. Okay, Hasbro hasn't moved in a century.
In a century?
Their CEO died.
Dude, forget going back then. I started talking about it in 2024, 2025. When it was down to 35.40.
He died. It was down because he died. Do you remember that?
Not back then. I started talking about it in 2024, 2025 when it was like $40.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is that you're a G.I. Joe / Transformers guy.
What I'm telling you is that business doesn't matter. All that matters is Wizards of the Coast / Magic the Gathering.
Dude,
that is the profit engine of that company.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Oh my God, check this out.
What I thought it was. I thought this whole time I thought Nerf was the profit engine.
Dude, are you? You're trolling me, right?
No, dude, actually.
Oh, you're not ready.
But eBay is a representation of Pokemon and high-end collectibles outpacing the market. Period. End of story. That's the story.
I want to show you this. Hold on.
Okay, I'm taking my stream down.
You're gonna go crazy. Q1, 26% growth in Wizards fueled by Magic player growth, okay? Wizards of the Coast in digital gaming is predominantly Magic the Gathering. The revenue is the majority of their total revenue, more than 50%, but their operating profit is basically 96%.
Is that my guy? My grandma? That's my boy.
How crazy.
That is wild.
How crazy. I mean, 51% operating margin, 29% operating profit. Crazy. 1 quarter, Magic the Gathering basically makes $300 million. This is a $2 billion annualized run rate, Magic the Gathering.
All I need to know, Steve, is do I need to save this can because I've now finished it? Like,
I think you're going to be okay, but you can watch it. Why don't you just watch it out and put it behind you?
Yeah.
As a little memento.
I'm good. I think we've gone through enough today.
All right.
Yeah, tomorrow's CPI though, guys. I think that's the biggest thing. Like tomorrow can be a wild day. I feel like the whole thing is a trap. Like I think it's a trap. It's a bear trap within a bull trap within a bear trap within a bull trap. Like it's so wild right now. I think we just need to like breathe, get through Friday. Let's see what happens after the SpaceX IPO. CPI is important, but you know, I have this really weird feeling that SpaceX can like take everything to space. I don't know. And maybe that's a fake bull trap Friday.
Can I show you why SpaceX is gonna actually do well? Probably.
Well, can we define do well? I mean, I think it can do well. You mean like
my definition of do well is maintain this ridiculous insanity valuation.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's everybody's interpretation of do well.
How about my interpretation is it may not have to go under 1.75 trillion. It may not have to sell off.
Well, didn't they have it? It's scheduled releases, right? It's scheduled. What do they call it?
I think 1 o'clock, 1:35 a share, and we'll see where the hell it goes.
But like for the dilution, for the share lockup, it's a scheduled quarterly unlock, isn't it?
When I read the S1, the conclusion I came to is that different investing groups have different lockup periods. So here's why SpaceX may not go under $1 trillion. It may actually finish over $2 trillion. You ready? Are you ready for how big the Elon premium is?
Oh, I mean, did you derive it from Tesla's premium?
Tesla is a bigger company than Meta.
Well, but there's a factor. The Elon premium can be deciphered factually, right? Statistically.
Well, give me a sec. The Elon premium is so disgusting. Where the hell is my revenue?
Because it should be, Tesla technically should be what, $40 or $50 company?
Yeah. I mean,
and so anything over that is the Elon premium.
Yeah. I mean, look at the gross profit. 9.5x is Meta's. EBITDA is more than 10x. Tesla could 10x the EBITDA, not generate the EBITDA of Meta. Yeah, it's a bigger company than Meta.
Okay, so what is the Elon premium factor?
The Elon premium factor is that this guy.
No, quantified in dollars or multiples.
Oh, quantified in dollars
or multiples. Yeah.
I mean,
a typical company like this would have a X multiple, but because it's Elon, it has a Y multiple. So X minus Y or Y minus X.
Hold on.
That's the Elon premium. Let's apply that to SpaceX. They're thinking 10X. I think it's more than 10X.
Sure. No, I'll bring up my spreadsheet that I actually have up and we can do it. But look at the margins also. Look how disgusting the margins are for Tesla.
Yeah, you're also using a Zuck premium, which exists as well.
There's no Zuck premium.
There is a Zuck premium.
Bullshit.
There's a Zuck premium.
Yeah, it's a negative premium.
At times it's a negative premium.
There's a net. Yeah,
okay,
right.
But no,
now,
you can legitimately factor the Elon premium. You can come up with a hard multiple.
Yeah, so I'm gonna come up with it right now.
Yeah, so give me GE or not. So what's GM's multiple?
Forget GM.
No, let's just
on the two.
No,
now they have way more forward growth.
No. Give me GM. GM's got a high multiple. Let's be real. But like what is the price earnings trailing on GM? Because they have EVs, they have all kinds of stuff.
I'd say Tesla should be $150 stock because they do have a lot more EPS forward growth, but they should not be trading at 121 times forward earnings.
Also, GM is a really good looking chart. But what is okay, you're gonna make me go, I gotta find the PE.
I'll do GM right now for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so GM is
33.76. I have a 33.79. 33 is the highest GM has ever been.
I mean, trades at 5.6 times forward. With 15% EPS growth over the next 2 years.
Okay. So what does Tesla trade at?
121 times forward with 70% EPS growth.
Okay, so 121 minus, call it 6, the 115x.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in dollars.
So okay, if we can apply the 115, call it 100.
I say the Elon premium is $238.98. My opinion.
Yeah, but that's factored as a multiple, right?
Based on forward multiple.
Sometimes the Elon premium is more. Sometimes it's less.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's why SpaceX may not fail, and people may just, you know what? If they think SpaceX is a better investment than Tesla, this thing could go to $3 trillion. Unfortunately, we'll see.
Yeah, so that would be the. Now we have to find out what the range of the Elon multiple is.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. Dude, HB, stop it. What makes you think that GM doesn't have any of that stuff and that Tesla's only going to be that? Stop it. GM is a good company. I bought a GM. You know, it is what it is.
Ford's a good company also. I own Ford.
I had a Ford for my first car.
Ford pays me a nice dividend.
I mean, so does Realty Income.
So does Realty Income. They pay me every month.
I don't think you own Ford for the dividend per se.
I do own Ford for the dividend.
Really?
When I bought it, the dividend was like 7-8%.
I mean, I don't want to own Ford for the divvy. That I feel like Ford is stuck at $12 forever. And so it's 15 today, so it means it's a short. We'll see.
Hercules Jack.
It was at like 25 or something that one time.
Ford's 15 right now.
I know, which makes me feel like it should come down to 12 again because that's where it belongs.
4%
go back to your home. Yeah, and go back to 7. 4%. GM though, like that chart is just up and to the right. It's wild. Up and to the right. Okay, what is your best World Cup trade idea?
Best World Cup trade
idea.
I have no idea. Manchester United.
Ooh, what's the ticker?
Man U, I think.
I think that already went up, didn't it? Oh yeah. She's rocking and rolling, baby.
You know what's crazy? I've been saying for the past 2 years, Apple should have bought Manchester United and MSG Group so they could own Manchester U, the Knicks, and the Rangers. Everybody laughed at me. Look at MSG Group this year. It's up over 100%.
I mean,
and take all the games and put it on Apple TV and take them off of legacy networks.
It's MSGS, right? Or no? That's over 100. Dude. Yeah. Look at that. MSGS.
Crazy, man.
That's up a lot. Quite a bit.
It's really crazy.
Yeah. Dude, the one that blows my mind every time is like whenever I look at the Sphere stock.
Yeah.
I just like, this thing does nothing but go up, right? Like still, I'm like, what do they spend like $1 billion on this? Like, I remember looking at Sphere when it was just barely sub 40. It's currently sitting at 5 billion market cap and $140. I'm like, is it done? Probably not. At 5 billion, I still don't think it's necessarily done. I know Buddha. I was thinking he was going to say something like Airbnb or something like that for his World Cup trade. I don't know what to say.
Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Just saying.
I mean, that's really not a bad. Or Uber.
Or Uber.
Or Uber. I just became a shareholder in Uber.
I was thinking that those would be one of those two, is what you would have said. But quite frankly, Manchester United
Man
did not.
U's
It looked like a better chart.
Man U.
DraftKings, DKNG. Look at that. I mean, okay, Robin Hood. Let's go. Not really, but okay. Robin Hood has a lot of catalysts. I don't think World Cup is one that's like specifically a big deal for them, but Trump account starting, pattern day trading, unlock, a handful of catalysts that I like there. DraftKings getting a little bit. That's a trade. Why draft? Probably World Cup. Nike, dude.
No, I'm not feeling Nike.
I think you would rather Lulu.
Dude, I'm gonna get a pair of Lulu pants just because Tanner has them to see how they are.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Go to what's the okay. Fast retail. What's the ticker? Uniqlo.
Of what?
Fast retail. It's ADR.
I have no idea what the hell that is.
Stop it.
The hell's fast retail?
Uniqlo.
Never heard of it.
What?
Never heard of it. Must be new.
What?
Must be new.
Stop.
Fast retail?
Yeah.
Must be new.
Dude, Claude it for me. It's FS something. Fast retailer, owner of Uniqlo.
I don't even know what Uniqlo is.
I don't care what you say. You got to do it though. But UNIQLO is fast retailing. I know there's an ADR. Dude, the stock is out of control. FRCOY. Thank you guys. FRCOY.
All right, hold on.
Pull the chart up.
FRCOI.
OY. Everybody pull the chart up all at once.
Fast Retailing Co.
Yeah, here I did again. Okay.
All right, great chart.
A godly chart.
$150 billion company.
Godly chart.
The hell is this freaking company?
Uniqlo.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you go fastretailing.com. Close. This is the company that
for the World Cup, not bad.
The company that
hold on. They own Theory.
The company that actually destroyed Lululemon, Lululemon is Uniqlo.
Dude, Theory makes some nice stuff.
This is the company, boys and girls, that y'all should have bought in the first place when you wanted to buy Lululemon. No. It should have been fast retail for Uniqlo. In theory. Yeah. Fair enough. But this is the real winner. Has been. And I think it remains. Is it Uniqlo? I don't think so. It's Uniqlo. There's an O. I think that's an O. It's not Lululemon though. It's Lululemon. That's what the old CEO said, at least. No idea what Princess Cam is. But yeah, you want to what do you call this business? Look at this crap website too. But the company, Uniqlo, modern Japanese company that inspires the world to dress casual. You never seen these stores? It's good stuff, dude.
I recognize the logo. I don't know what it is though.
So go buy some Uniqlo. All these little puffy jackets and stuff like that. And be like, look, I got the actual alpha right there. They're giving me a hard time, dude. I shouldn't know it. Bought a scarf from there once. There you go.
All right. I like it.
What do you mean Steve doesn't strike you as a puffy jacket guy?
Oh, I'm
Steve,
not a puffy jacket guy.
I can see you in a puffy jacket all day long.
No way. I wear freaking regular pea coat. And if it gets really, really, really cold out, I'll wear a North Face. I don't consider North Face a
Okay.
puffy jacket.
Hold on. That is oh my god. I used
And
to
I
own this.
refuse to buy a
company?
Canadian Goose. Refuse.
Oh, so speaking of turnarounds, it's GOOS. So Canadian Goose. Obviously, nobody's buying Canadian Goose either. It's not just a you thing, per the chart, right? It's a V. What's the other one? Oh, who owns North Face and Timberland and oh my god, it's gonna kill me. VFC, thank you guys. Jeez. Somehow it's still alive. Wasn't this a dividend? Look at this thing from $100 VF Corp. Now they have a dividend, it's 2% now. New CFO from Lulu. Whoops. Interesting one. Some of these retail names have been ENF bounced a bit.
Yes. Steve needs the down jacket that George had on Seinfeld, but it wasn't a down jacket. It was a Gore-Tex jacket. It was Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex.
Bubble Boy.
What's Aritzia? I don't know. ATZ on this. I've never heard of this. Aritzia? I don't know if I'm on the right ticker. Shrinkage. Shrinkage. Yeah, no, not Under Armour. That's not the one. I don't think so. One day, guys, these stocks will come back, likely, just based on inflation. What is it today? I don't know. VF Corp owned Supreme, but they sold it. I know who they sold it to. They own Vans, North Face. Yeah, see, they sold Supreme. At least they still own the backpack company. If you like JanSport.
JanSport.
Dude.
Crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. 52-week range on their website. $11 to $22. Why would you put that there? Used to be a really good company. I mean, I don't know that it's not, but used to be a really good stock. Now it's just like I don't know. I think this could come back one day. But with those brands, I don't think so. Oh, it's not LV. It's VSCO. No. I thought it was What's Victoria's Secret?
No clue.
They changed it. VSXY. Bang. What a turnaround story chart. Victoria's Secret from $9 to $75. You know? Not too shabby. They want Deckers.
Everybody seems to like Deckers for some reason.
This is what do they make? This is not just stores, right? This is yeah, so it's UGG, it's Hoka. So it's for Hoka. I mean, Uggs is just Uggs. I don't think it's going anywhere. Deckers is for Hoka. You go retail. I don't know. All right. Can't look at Flab. That thing looked like a falling knife for a minute. Yeah, Flab looks like a falling knife that mostly stopped. No, I take it back. Everyday new low. So there's this thing. I'm going to stop sharing. So this is a general, I'll keep it sharing, vibe in the market right now. We're like, if the guy, you guys know, like coming into this, we've basically made the lows of the week pretty early every week coming into this, meaning like maybe Monday, Tuesday ends up being the low. Fridays had seemed like a little iffy because we would see a lot of profit taking on Fridays.
Yeah.
And so if you kind of extrapolate that, it's a characteristic of the market. So like on a very green week, we will typically see a red Friday just because you'll see a lot of profit taking. And that's the week is characterized by basically the days. So the morning session, we would see lows made in the early hours of the day coming into this. And we would typically close towards the highs. Same thing with the week, and then same thing with the months, where we closed basically towards the highs of the month. The lows of the month would be made fairly early on. We're starting a new month, and what I'm seeing so far is a different characteristic where almost every day we're seeing the highs made in the early hours and closing towards the lows, which is the first kind of like, uh-oh, hang on. Let me take a beat for a second. And it's like the first real week of the month right now. And so far, if we lock the high of the week in early on Monday, Tuesday, that's what I would be more worried about. So why I'm more like on the fence of I don't want to make a lot of decisions right now. First of all, it's the first week that I'm going to start counting. And maybe or maybe not we close at the high or low of the week, but I think this week becomes like a very important week to determine that trend and that characteristic of the market moving forward. I would like to see us close towards the highs, but it's only Tuesday right now and we have a lot of stuff in front of us. At the same time, we have a big dip intro in the middle of the week right now, and because we have SpaceX IPO, if we get a really bloody CPI day tomorrow, I don't think it changed the fact that we could have a face-ripping green day on Friday from lower based on the reverse logic, because in a bearish market, we will typically set the highs of the week early in that week, and then green day Fridays in a bearish market are usually very green, opposite of a bullish market. Fridays are a lot of short covering that we'll typically see. So as we move forward, I just don't want to I don't want to read too far into the tea leaves this week, but I think it's going to start to play itself out after we get through this SpaceX IPO and a lot of things like that. So
look, I think that we can have a lot of selling the next couple of days because I really do believe people are raising capital. I mean, there's reports investment funds are trying to get 10 billion plus of allocation to SpaceX. Institutional investors, they're not getting new cash. They have to raise funds by selling things. They're probably selling things like Micron that are up 7-8x.
Those are the exact things that people that want those kind of allocations own today.
Yeah,
so like that's
100%.
That's how you have to think about it. So those are the stocks that are most at risk. While maybe it is my Qualcomm or your Marvell or whatever or Micron. Either way, I think it can set up for a temporary condition. But this is my sentiment of why I want to just like chillax for a little bit. You can hedge if you want to, but I don't think you need to hedge a lot in terms of buying time or anything, because I think we'll know after this IPO like what's real and what's not, right? Because maybe they decide that they don't want to buy it. Maybe they actually do buy it. Who knows? But any money that was not deployed is either going to get deployed somewhere somehow, or it's going to be held in reserves for Anthropic and OpenAI, which I think that we're actually getting not just SpaceX, but they're probably thinking at this point in time, well, let me just raise the cash for the other three that I was, or the other two that I was probably going to want to buy anyways also. So I think, maybe it gets a little choppy, but this is a very much a wait and see kind of situation to me.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. All right. Do you want to call it?
Yeah, we can call it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining.
Also, HK, amazing. SOG is School of Games. That's our academy. It's free, by the way, if you want to join. We will give you a free exposure to it for sure, but that's all link in bio and stuff like that if you want.
Please check out Jason's Academy. Please follow Jason on YouTube and X.
Oh, Steve, it's too cool.
What?
Too funny. Too cool, man. Too cool. Also, guys, in how many days, Steve?
What do you mean?
In 1 week's time.
11 days.
In 11 days' time. I feel like I'm getting christened into the club. Almost.
I mean, in 11 days, Jason is going to join the cabal to take every pick away from Tanner.
The cabal?
The cabal. Chris and I were looking at it. We were like, Tanner's in dead last. And the way that we're doing it, well, I guess now that you're coming in, you're going to have last pick because you're the new guy. Tanner's going to have second to last pick. But we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we took NVIDIA, SoFi, Mercado Libre, and Micron or something away from Tanner in the first round, so he would be absolutely pissed?
Are you guys not resetting right away?
What do you mean by resetting?
Is it a question of like, these are my existing stocks?
No. We're resetting, but we know what companies he is in love with because of his YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah.
Because he talks about the things he's buying, and we know how he thinks and what he invests in. Like, he's very tech heavy. CoreWeave is up there. So we were like, maybe if we just take these, we just completely screw up his train of thought.
I feel like there's a lot of strategy that's going on in the back there.
And we're going to have to add 2 rounds. It's no longer rounds of 10. I'm going to have to make an amendment. It has to be 12 rounds now for 12 picks because everybody has to pick twice in the number 1 spot. It's only fair because we do a snake where the order is set.
You're already messing with me. It's not 12. It's 12 companies now, not 10.
Yeah, it's going to have to be 12 because you're in. It was 10 because there was 5 of us. Now there's going to have to be 12, so everybody can pick twice in the number 1 spot. It's only fair. It's only fair. And that's why winning
doesn't math to me for whatever reason.
Don't worry about the math.
It's almost like the math of like, average return versus cumulative return.
It's the same thing, just where the decimal point is. It's the same thing, just decimal point.
Yeah, I got it.
Doesn't matter. If you win on cumulative, you're going to win on average. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So basically, the way that we set it up, however we finish, was the picking order. And the way we did it last year was, because it was all random through a randomizer, once our order was established, let's just say it's a Matt, me, Chris, Tanner. After the first round, it would then be Matt, me, Chris, Tanner, or Mitt, and then you'd have to work your way back up. So Amit would get the first pick in rounds 1 and 6.
Right.
So it's going to be fun. The draft is on June 20th, Saturday night, 11 days. The first year ends on June 12th. June 12th. We got 5 more trading days for me to make a run.
Send me the link in DMs of like what you guys picked.
Don't you? Hold on.
You have the info. I don't have it. No, it's not.
I thought I sent you this sheet. No,
you sent me the sheet, but not. I'm saying like I want to know what everybody picked too.
Yeah, I sent. All right, I'm resending this to you. Hold on. Share. Jason.
Oh, you're doing it like that? I don't even check like that.
Yeah, I sent it to you through Gmail.
Okay. What's my?
I have to give you access to the sheet.
Okay. Is Jason at paper.
I know what it is. It's
Yeah.
at the top of your box.
Top of the box.
You can do your homework. You can study, get ready. Look how everybody thinks.
I'm not going to study nothing. You guys are all.
I've already ran simulations. I'm getting my fantasy baseball. Dude, I'm getting my fantasy baseball ready. Like I used to play fantasy baseball, not football, baseball, hardcore stuff.
All right. This is ridiculous.
Hey, you know what? You want it in the madness. Get ready.
I'm good. For Tanner, you guys are lapping him. That's all right. You think he's
If
gonna
it wasn't for
Micron,
Micron, they'd be lapping me.
well, why didn't you pick BMNR, dude? What's up with that?
Because I thought MicroStrategy at the time was a better chance. I may take MicroStrategy again.
You almost picked BMNR.
I may take MicroStrategy again.
I mean,
can't get any worse.
Yes, it can.
I mean, it can, but it probably won't.
That's a different, yeah. Hey, your HIMS is almost in 3 days' time. I'll tell you what, your best shot here is HIMS. That's serious.
Why are they? Do they have earnings coming out?
What all the charts that we just ran through.
Okay.
If the market stays somewhat defensive, and your AI trade will hold.
Oof.
So
here's the thing:
to 45 between now and then, that 47% average. Okay, so we have to do this on like who's most at risk too.
So Tanner was talking about HIMS a lot on his YouTube channel with Tevis. So I took HIMS hoping I could trade it to Tanner for something, and he ended up not wanting it. Amit did not want Apple, and he took it. He offered me Apple for HIMS, and I said no because I was holding out for a better deal. I didn't even want it.
Apple's one of his best performers.
I know. I should have taken it.
Yeah.
I would have been in first place if I had done that trade.
Yeah. I mean, you could have. Where's MasterCard? Who has MasterCard? Oh, nobody? What?
And you know what's crazy? If you go to the third tab, the versus the SPY, we're outperforming the SPY by I think 26% or something like that as a total group with every pick.
Who's taking MasterCard first round? That's dumb.
You can take it.
I mean, I feel like you're either playing to win or you're playing to survive.
Well, we don't play to survive. I can tell you that much.
I mean, yeah. MasterCard's one of those play to survive picks, like which could probably win from here. Actually, MasterCard looks amazing from here. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but you gotta look at this from a year perspective.
Yeah.
Now we are doing quarterly rebalance where you can get rid of 2 companies and pick 2 new ones up this time. So we'll see.
Oh, CrowdStrike, bro. I don't know. That's your biggest risk.
A huge risk.
That's your biggest risk. And even if HIMS gets to 45, if Crowd just pulls back to 5, like that could happen in 3 days.
It's what we call no bueno.
You know, you could take snapshots on it. Did you just change Tanner's P&L?
No, I didn't change anything.
Why did it change on this? Just went from 11.
Oh, because it's updating.
Oh. You never know.
Never know. All right, everyone.
It's been real.
We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for joining. We really appreciate it.
Love you guys.
And I will see you tomorrow. I will make you this promise. If Amit is not feeling well, I will try to do the market open. I may not get there for exactly 9:30.
He just has COVID.
I don't know if he's going to want to sleep in. I don't know. Who gets COVID?
Exactly. Is it really real?
I mean, I guess so.
Who gets COVID?
So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. We will see you later. Thank you.
Peace.